I'm Missouri State Auditor Nicole Galloway, and I'm the Democratic nominee for Missouri Governor.
Okay. What issue is most important to you as we head into November?
I think the pandemic has highlighted healthcare as the most important issue for voters because people want access to affordable, accessible healthcare. And lots of folks don't have health insurance, but if you do have health insurance, your premiums and deductibles have been going up for years. I have outlined a plan to get folks covered by insurance, to lower the cost of prescription drugs, lower the cost of premiums and deductibles, and make sure that folks with pre-existing conditions have insurance coverage. Governor Parsons' record on health care is terrible. He has cut 100,000 kids off of their health insurance. He has the state and his appointed attorney general in a lawsuit right now to take away coverage for pre-existing conditions that would impact over 2 million Missourians. And he opposes Medicaid expansion, which the voters approved in August. Medicaid expansion would give working Missourians, nearly 250,000 working Missourians, access to health insurance. I know that we can provide health insurance for working Missourians in a way that benefits everyone. We can have investments in our communities, we can keep our rural hospitals open, we can do it without increasing taxes, without gutting other accounts, and I am committed to doing that.
What are we doing wrong right now, if anything, and what will you do differently if you win?
We need a complete reset on our coronavirus strategy. We are going in the wrong direction. We continue to be in the red zone nationwide because cases are surging, hospitalizations are up, and now we've had over 2,000 Missourians die since the beginning of this pandemic. We cannot continue down this current course without an adjustment. We will continue to fail. I've outlined a plan to contain COVID and get our economy back on track. It's based on containment, on mitigation, and on data, science-backed approaches. So many folks earlier this spring gave up income, gave up livelihood, gave up time with family, gave up celebrations, and it's hard to understand what we have to show for it. Fighting this virus should not mean taking away livelihoods. It shouldn't mean shuttering businesses. It shouldn't mean closing schools. But that's where we are. We have to contain the spread of the virus to get back on track. And my plan would prevent further shutdowns.
You kind of already answered this question, but I have to ask it anyways. What do you believe is important to Missouri voters?
I think, I think COVID, the containment of COVID and healthcare are the two most pressing issues. But I think that we need a new direction in Jefferson City. I am running for governor to put Jefferson City back on the side of working families and to act with urgency to protect our fellow Missourians. The most important thing the next governor will have to do is contain the spread of the virus and rebuild Missouri's economy. The question is, will we rebuild so working folks can get back on their feet and succeed? Or will we continue to ignore science, distract, and rebuild only for well-connected special interests? My record of auditor stands on its own. I've identified over $370 million in government waste and abuses. And because of my audit, 60 criminal counts have been brought against corrupt public officials in this state, Democrats and Republicans. I have seen corruption and fraud and waste at every level, and I know why people are sick of it. Governor Parson has been part of the Jefferson City bubble for almost 2 decades. He's been governor for 2 years, lieutenant governor before that, a legislator for over a decade before that. He's really good at delivering for the insiders in Jefferson City, while Missouri families cannot get what they need. And I'm out to change that.
What do you believe is top of mind for voters right now? Economy, racism, or COVID-19? Which is the biggest concern, and how would you address it?
I think in many ways those issues are interconnected because unless we get COVID under control, we will not be able to open our economy back again. And our economic, how COVID is hurting our economy is hurting state and local budgets. And so until we contain the spread of the virus, we can't get our economy back, we can't get people back to work, and that means at the state level and at the local level, our budgets are hurting. That prevents investments in schools, right? That prevents investments in healthcare. That prevents investments in mental health care and so many of the other important issues that Missourians are facing in their community. That's why I think addressing COVID is probably the most important thing the next governor will have to do.
How would you reassure voters that you will fight for what they want?
I have a proven track record of fighting for what they want and what Missourians need. I mean, as state auditor, I've never settled for things just being the way that they are. I've always stood on taxpayers' side, being an independent watchdog in Jefferson City, and have the track record to prove it. As I said, I have brought criminal counts because of my audits against Democrats and Republicans. I don't care who you are. I think that politicians should be held accountable for the decisions that they make on other folks' behalf, and I have shown that I can and do that. I don't care about who's right, I care about what's right. And as governor, I'm not going to settle either. I will demand the best for the people of this state.
Why run for governor?
No, I have seen that the system is broken. I have looked under the hood of government and have seen the abuse, have seen the corruption. And when I travel the state, I hear all the time that people feel like Jefferson City is disconnected from them, that Jefferson City isn't doing what is needed to make our schools better, to lower the cost of health care, to make sure that folks can get back to work, that our schools can be open again for full in-person learning. And I have seen that broken system. As auditor, I have fought it, but as governor, I can and will end it.